Ever since James Gunn took over DC Studios and fired Henry Cavill as Superman, fans have been questioning his ability to properly direct a good old-fashioned Superman movie. I want to get a couple of things out of the way in this video before I go into the criticisms I have of this costume. I do want to let you guys know that when I saw these set photos, I was legitimately excited for the upcoming Superman movie. The costume is bright, David Cornsweet is smiling in a lot of these pictures, we've got a classic Lois Lane look. These characters look a lot like the comic book characters from afar, okay? The reason why I kind of cushion it with that is because if you zoom in and you see the crinkles on the costume, the baggy look, the overly complicated design, it's not necessarily a good omen. I love the trunks. I love the yellow belt, the classic vibe that it's giving off, the vibrant colors. I love the curl in the hair. David Cornsweet clearly put on a lot of weight in terms of muscle mass to play this role. I just think it's a shame that he doesn't get to show off the physique that he was able to build with a more form-fitting costume because he's forced to wear something that looks like it was taken out of Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Moving into this, like I said, we have a good old-fashioned classic Lois Lane appearance. It looks like it's been pulled straight out of the comics with her outfit. Superman's looks like it's a mix between Kingdom Come, the classic Superman suit, the New 52 Superman costume, and a couple of other ones. The cape kind of just strapping onto the shoulders and the traps without actually tucking into the collar. I've never been a fan of that. I was never a fan of that with the CW Superman. I was never a fan of that with the Henry Cavill Superman. I like the old classic cape that tucks into the actual costume, like the CW Superman from Superman and Lois, or the Superman Returns costume, or the Christopher Reeve Superman costume, or the Dean Cain Superman costume, not excluding, of course, those 2 or 3 episodes where they had the cape poorly stitched onto the costume. That classic vibe of a cape just kind of resting, coming from inside the suit and flowing out, like the DC Animated Universe Superman, where it tucks into the actual collar of the shirt and then flows down. I've always liked that appearance of Superman's cape far more than the one that tucks into the shoulders. I don't think it makes sense for it to just tuck into the shoulders. I like a lot more of that classic vibe. And if you look here again, a lot of these set photos, I'm certain, aren't doing it justice. Unfortunately, we have a lot of baggy crinkles in the arms, the shoulder area. You see it around the waist. You got a little bit of it in the legs, around the groin area. This is a better shot of those wrinkles that I'm talking about. Now, I'm okay with wrinkles in costumes. I'm okay with that. But this is a thick, padded, bulky costume that doesn't allow the physique of the actor who put it together to actually portray what he worked on to achieve for the Superman role. And it just looks like he's wearing a leather jacket backwards. It's fairly unappealing. You see those crinkles in there, you see those wrinkles and those folds that are coming off of the costume. It's not as appealing. This is a great shot here. He's standing upright, he looks like Superman, the trunks, everything. He's bulky enough in terms of his overall physique that it looks like there's some muscle showing through. But then you zoom in right here and you see how bulky that suit actually is, popping off of the wrists like that. I've never been a fan of extremely bulky Superman costumes. It takes away a lot of the physique that the actor worked on to get, you know. And again, this shot here, he's wearing a fairly similar boot style to the CW Superman from the Supergirl TV show. But just look at the wrinkles there. Like I said, it looks like a reverse leather jacket. Mr. Terrific looks exactly like he's supposed to. I'm just wondering why it is that Superman didn't get a more classic Superman costume. We got a Kingdom Come Superman symbol, which is a symbol that he gets at the end of his career as a superhero in the Kingdom Come Superman storyline, the Kingdom Come DC Comics storyline painted by Alex Ross, an amazing artist. And he's got this weird, clunky, bulky costume that doesn't make much sense to me. This is a better shot, but you still see a lot of those folds, and I'm certain that all that extra stitching is taking away from the ability for it to flow naturally. So when he bends over, it bunches up in those specific areas where there's a lot of stitching and extra details. Whereas if it was more of a simplistic, singular one suit, it would look better. This is another shot where it actually looks kind of good. But that's the problem that I'm noticing with this, is that it really only looks good when he's standing straight up. If he moves his arms or his upper torso or any part of his body in any way, it automatically takes away from the overall appearance of the suit and just reminds us that it's not form fitting, that it looks like it's baggy, that it looks like there's air underneath. It doesn't look like he's filling it out. It doesn't look like Superman is wearing a superhero costume. It looks like he's wearing a cosplay costume. And I don't understand why it is that someone would want to make this the outfit for Superman instead of something more classic. The classic Superman suit is the one that has been tested by time and been appreciated the most by the fans. If you want to win the fans back, why not give him a good old-fashioned classic Superman costume? Like I said, I love the vibrant colors. I love the fact that in this photo here, you can see the S on his chest. The cape just flows off of the shoulders. He's very much so got a Superman vibe, but he's missing some of those amazing details regarding the classic Superman costume, which was inspired by strongman outfits in the early 30s. I really, really wish we got to see that classic Superman costume one more time. People may have been upset or making fun of the obvious muscle padding in the CW Superman and Lois TV show, and we got to see I think it was the Fleischer suit, the Fletcher suit or the Fleischer suit that had that classic, very classic costume where it was just like simple. It had the trunks, it had the S, it had the big bright red cape, the bright red boots. The muscle padding was obvious, but it looked amazing. It was the best modern Superman costume that we have gotten on screen since Superman Returns. And Superman Returns' Superman costume was too dark of a color. The blue wasn't bad, but the red was just such a deep red that it lost all of its hopeful endeavor. You know, this bright red cape, I love that. The bright red trunks, the bright red on the S, the bright red boots, I love all of that. I love the color of this costume. I just don't like the design. The design is poor. The design is bad. You know? It's just a bad suit, and I'm sure that they're going to touch it up in post and make it look like it's more form-fitting. And with all the CGI shots, it's going to look a lot more like it's actually sticking to his skin than otherwise. I just really hope that they have the budget and the time and the patience to make sure this looks good in post, because otherwise people are not going to be happy with a Superman who doesn't look like he can fill out his costume. Other than that, I love this. Like I said, David Cornsweet looks like Superman. He should be playing Superman. He looks like he could play Superman. The lady who's playing Lois Lane, I forget her name, but Rachel Brosnahan. Rachel Brosnahan, I think is her name. She looks like Lois Lane. She literally looks like Lois Lane was plucked out of the pages of a comic. I love that. I'm curious to see this movie. I do want to see it. These set photos got me more excited. Getting to see him standing proud in some of these shots, like this one here. This actually looks really good to me. I think this is awesome. I think this shot, the shaking of the hand, maybe, he's not shaking somebody's hand, but it looks like he could be shaking a civilian's hand. I know that's not the case because this is just someone, member of the crew, who's probably doing some touch-ups on the costume, making sure David Cornsweet's doing okay. I know they're filming right now, so it's in the summer and it's hot. He's wearing a full bodysuit, so he's going to be getting warm, you know. But a lot of these shots remind me of classic Superman. I just want the Superman suit to look good, you know? If the story's great, it'll make up for a lot. But people are visual creatures. You know, we want to see good-looking things. And if this suit doesn't look good, that's going to be one of the main things that people talk about. It's going to negatively impact the actual film. Now, who knows? Maybe this is just one of a few suits that he wears in the movie, but any one of these set photos would have been a better set photo to have used as an image to advertise for your movie. Would have been a much better one. This shot right here would have been much better. This shot right here with Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, this would have been great to advertise as your movie. And people probably would have actually dug this suit a little bit more, even though it is still baggy. Anyways, look, I want this movie to be good. I love Superman as a character. I'm not a big fan of this costume. I hope it does great. I hope the movie does great. I want to see good superhero films again. I hope James Gunn knows what he's doing. But I don't have much faith if he can't get the costume right. And the massive cast of side characters and cameos, it's a little bit foreboding of someone who doesn't really know what they're doing or trust the Superman brand, doesn't have faith that this character will actually be able to pull in seats at the box office. James Gunn's always been an eclectic character type of guy. This is the main concern that people have had with him being Superman's director, is that this is a very classic superhero. If he can't get the classic superhero right, you're going to have problems with the rest of your franchise. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts, share this video out there with your friends, subscribe or follow. I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of the week.